All right now, for all you boppers out there in the big city, all you street people with an ear for the action, I've been asked to relay a request from the Gramercy Riffs. It's a special for the Warriors. That's that real live bunch from Coney, and I do mean the Warriors. Here's a hit with them in mind.
Hello and welcome back to Just Painted. Hey guys, how you doing? So like I said in my last video, I was going to show you guys how to start prepping this. I want to start painting. Okay, so but I need to finish doing some prep work, and one of the things I need to do is plug these holes. Now I made a video a while back, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do this today. And then we'll prep it up and we'll paint. But what I want to do first is I want to plug these holes, and I'll plug these holes with the initial way that I show you guys how to do. Here is putting these little styrene rods. You can get these in all different sizes. Plastruck is one of the makers that make these kind of rods. They're all styrene made, and they're really easy to work with. Or you can use if you have any sprues from old model kits, like plastic sprues, you can get different sizes from these sprues. Here's one that I saved. You know, here's the plastic piece that's still there. If the holes are small enough, I usually use something like that. All right, but what I was going to do is to start plugging these in. I started just dry fitting. I was going to start gluing. I decided, wait, hold on, I forgot that I was going to film this. So basically you grab your styrene rod or your sprue or whatever for this, and I'm going to show you an easy way to do this. All right, so basically what I do is I push it in. It's a nice tight fit. All right, so first, if you need to make this bigger, do not use a power tool, either a Dremel or a drill or whatever. I will go by hand, because this will crack. Okay, it's not as, I guess, is brittle or whatever, but you know, don't put too much force into the drilling by hand. Okay, just make it a little bit wider, or sand down around your rod to do that. All right, and then you get a nice tight fit. Okay, like I said, you don't want to drill it, because it's going to end up cracking the piece, and I have done that before, trust me. So I'm just telling you by experience. So, all right, so let me get some glue here. Is this the one? Nope. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here and then push that in so it stays there. And I'm just using a regular, regular glue that I have here. Okay, so I put a little bit around, not too much. You don't have to go crazy. All right. And you don't need to go all the way down deep either. So, all right, so get that in there. Okay, that's good enough right there. And you can cut it with a knife, but I'll use one of these little snips that you get, all right? And I just cut it as close as you can. Right there, just like that. Okay? Alright, so let's do the same thing with these other three. Oops. 1, 2, 3. And then this one I'm going to show you, because this one's smaller, I'm going to show you something a little different. Alright, so again, you're going to put a little glue. Just a little bit. Alright, and then Gonna let that glue dry for a little bit before we do anything. I have a little plan, so I'm not gonna do these, and I'm not gonna do the ones in the back. All right. So I know already what I want to do with this, and I don't need to plug those in. But if you have, depending on the project that you're doing and things like that, you might want to do it or not. It's up to you. So it's all up to you. But I'm just showing you. I'll show you real quick with these. Okay, up here. Okay, so now for the next one, which is the small one. Let me show you what I'm going to be using. Okay, so I have a little stand here. This was the stand is made by NY3D Creation. He has different types. This is totally different than this. This is one of the prototypes that he first made. He's got a totally different one on his site if you guys want to go check it out. All right, but it comes with different size collars for different size lights. This is a small one. He has one that'll fit the bigger ones. Like, do I have it around here? Yes, I do. You know, you're going to try to fit the collar on it. All right, here's the collar for a big one. Here's the bigger light. All right, and I put that there so I didn't lose it. But this is the light that it'll cook the crap out of that. This what I'm going to do show you next. So, when you're doing something like this and you're using these UV lights, make sure you use eye protection. Okay. All right. So so I have it right here. All right. So what I'm going to do, make sure that I have resin in here. I don't want to look like a fool. Make sure this comes out. Okay, so I have a bottle here with the resin, same resin that I used to print this. Okay, now you can use a clear resin. I think a clear resin would do better, you know. So, but you know, because the light will actually go through the whole resin a little bit better. All right, but the way I do this, guys, is pretty simple. I'm gonna turn my light on. All right, and when you're doing this kind of work, do it away from the. You don't want the resin to get hard as you're working. All right, so you just dab a little bit of resin. All right. And put it on the light. I'm sorry, I'm off screen here. Let's put that there. Put it there. All right, now I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera, but that sucker's smoking right now. All right. So leave it there for a few seconds. All right, make sure you get a nice hard, and see you're going to start closing the hole. See? Okay. Now this stuff you can scrape off with a knife or whatever, but you want to get it inside the wall. You see, I can't do it. I can't put the light on it because all right. So see how I got a little bit left on the tip? That's all I'm going to use right there, just to start closing. I don't want to put too much all at once. And that should be it. Yeah, that's got it. Nice. Alright, so shut the light off. Make sure you guys use eye protection, don't forget. Alright, so there you go. You got two different styles that I did right there. Alright, the glue's still a little wet. So, but when I come back, we're gonna clean these up a little bit, and then we'll go into a little sanding, and we'll see how it comes out. Alright, so I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so let's continue. So what we want to do is we want to take off any excess of these pegs that I cut off. And just shave some off so you don't have to sand the crap out of this thing. Alright, and there you go. Just try to get as flush as you can. Alright, so next up, what you want to do is to get this all nice and smooth. You want to start off maybe with the thicker grit sandpaper. Okay, and you want to get it, make sure you get it flat. So I'm going to show you with a newer sheet, if I can get it out. And what I'll do is, I got a 220 here. I picked some of this stuff up at Home Depot the other day, and I picked up a pack, so, and it was cheap. I'm going to use this for some other stuff that I need to do here at home, you know. But the 220 grit, I think it's a good starting point. But you do want to go with a finer sandpaper once you get down to you get this stuff, you know, down to where you got a good flat surface, and go with the finer, you know, sanding on that. Okay, so but what I am going to do is I'm going to do this a little wet so I don't get, you know, use a mask, guys, or do this outside. I'm going to wet sand this so I don't get a lot of dust around. All right, so I'm just going to throw some water here. All right, and I don't want to get inhaling any of the resin that I'm scratching on. All right, so basically what I'm doing is I'm grabbing a big piece of sandpaper, okay, and I'm going to just, okay, get the drift. All right, so we're going to just like, all right, sand it down smooth. Just going back and forth. And the wet sandpaper, the water is not going to allow the dust to get all over the place. All right, so I'm on a little bit of an uneven surface here, so I'll just keep on going back and forth. Okay, another way to do this, hold on, let me get a little rag here, try to clean this off. Here we go. I forgot to do that I usually do. Okay, I'm already getting a nice flat surface there, but what I like to do is to make sure that I'm getting everything. Let's put an X on these things. Alright, and then you'll know if there's a little trick that Gilbert from Red Dragon Model Works, he taught me this, so thank you for that. Alright, this was actually his idea, using these styrenes and or sprues and things like that to cover the holes. Okay, and you want to keep on sanding until you see nothing. Okay, still got, you can feel with your finger if you still got a little bit of a bump. Alright, so this divot right here, I'm going to want to fix that. And this little things right here, I don't want these to show. And there's another one right there. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want to keep on sanding all the way down. So one way that you can fix that is, let me get an old beat up brush. Okay, real crappy one, and smooth it out a little bit. Okay, just like that. The resin, and then cure it. I don't know, can you guys see the smoke that's coming out? This thing is cooking it right there. Boom. There we go. Doesn't take much to, on a thin layer like that, to cure. there has a little divot. Alright, so let's sand that down. It should be alright. So I had like a little divot right next to it, and I wasn't happy with that, but that came out real smooth right there. That's it. I don't feel anything. Actually feels smooth. This bark right here is a little rough, so let's do the back. Alright, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash this, and I'm going to use some Dawn just to get all the crud and all the greasy from your fingers and everything like that. And like I said before, I already sanded the face in the kit. I just needed to do this, and I wanted to show you guys how I did that. But this is really light sanding right here, just real light sanding. You don't have to put a lot of elbow grease to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up this whole area right here. I want to clean up this mess. I'm going to wash this kit, and when I come back, I'm going to start painting. All right, and we'll put some color. All right. So when I return, that's what we're going to start working on, the paint job. All right. See you back. All right. So there she is, right there. She's all primed and ready to paint. I tried to do a little bit of a OSL with 2 different types of color primer. I didn't like the way it came out, so I just primed a little bit over. I was getting a little splattering and all that, but all that's fixed. So there it is right there. It's a little OSL, but not much. I didn't want to go with a black, and the reason why I didn't want to darken it too much, I don't know how that, painting a dark skin color, how that was going to react. If I'm going to do the shadows, I think I'm going to do the shadows afterward. Okay, I didn't want the paint to become too dark in certain areas, and then having a hard time. I would want to do a little gradient, like with the red, maybe with the mic and in the face, obviously, right? So do a little shadowing, like you see in the picture. So this is where I'm going to start with. I'm going to go get my stuff and start getting ready to paint. Real quick before we get started, I am going to be using both Galari's airbrushes. I'm going to use the 0.3 for do more broader brushes, and then with the more detail I'm going to switch over to the 0.2. Alright, so people telling me that I'm saying it wrong. It's Gallery. I keep on saying Gallery. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but Gallery, that's the right way to do it. Alright, but I will be using the 0.3 and the 0.2. Alright, so let me get my stuff ready and I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, so I started painting this and I had a little fingerprint on the thing, and I had to go fix it. It was going to drive me nuts, guys. So again, I'm going to start over here because I don't want to, it's going to make the video too long. I don't want to do that and bore you guys, but I went back and sanded it down a little bit, and then I buffed it out, and then I re-primed it. Alright, so the first color that I'm using is Inferno Red, and I'm using, for the red color, I'm going to use the Crimson Red set. Okay, and I'm going to be working from the bottom up. So I'm going to start off with the reds. The hardest part that we're going to have by painting this is going to be the inside of the letters, because I want to do those black, you know, on the edges and keep the letters red. Maybe make that pop out a little bit more. Okay, but other than that, I'm going to start with the Gallery 0.2. All right, just to get close enough to the edges without doing too much overspray. All right, if I do overspray, it's not really a big deal, but you know, I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum. All right, and I already had paint mixed here, so let me get started again. You can see that I got some red left over, so let's just start over. Okay, so hopefully my head is on the way. So let me let that dry. Okay, and then we'll seal it, and then we'll do a little gradient with a darker color coming up this way. Okay, so we're gonna let it dry, seal it, and then when I come back, that's what we're gonna do. We do a little gradient. All right, so next color is gonna be Sanctuary Red. There we go, Sanctuary Red. All right, and you're gonna do it from the bottom. I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna mix some of this Chalice Red. Chalice Red. I think that's good. We're gonna let it dry and let it seal. We're gonna let it dry and then seal it. Again, Chalice Red, Crimson Chalice, Crimson. All right. It's gonna be just this color. And so I'm going to use some tape and just, all right, I'm going to tape up this whole area next to the skin. All right, so I'm going to mask that with this. All right, so I made a little mess of the masking. So I used a liquid mask, all right, to do around the edges. All right, but you know, hopefully it'll work fine. Just wanted to get up and close. I couldn't do it with the tape, so I was making a mess with the tape. So I'm going to use the Gallery 0.3, all right, for the broadening of the skin tone. All right. I'm going to try to stay away from the inside of the mouth because I want to paint that in some kind of red on the inside and then darken it up later on and do the teeth and stuff. But for the base color, I'm using, all right, Bosch Chestnut by Scale Color. All right. Bosch Chestnut SFG 35. All right. Okay, so this part I'm going to start recording voiceover. So we're going to lay down the base layer, the Bosch Chestnut. Okay, again, I'm going to emphasize to do thin layers every time, guys. You know, but this has to be a good base coat for this kit. Okay, so make sure you get a good coverage. All right, and just continue putting layers down. You know, let it dry a little bit, then come back to it and hit it again. All right, and just get a good coverage all over the kit. Try not to hit the mouth too much. All right, like the inside part. All right, but continue on. There you go, right there. Once it's dry, obviously you're going to put down a clear coat. All right, matte. So here I'm using from that Fairy Flesh set from the Nocturna series. I'm using the base flesh color. Okay. All right, and you're just gonna spray, like here I'm showing you, I'm gonna spray from the top side a little bit. Not so much a highlight, but you know, it's just to give it a different tone and lighten it up just a little bit. You don't wanna go too crazy, very light layers. You know, maybe do like a 60-40 mixture. Okay, and just hit it from the top side a little bit. Just to bring, you know, use the natural shadows from the darker color beneath. Okay. And just, you know, just keep on doing a little bit to your satisfaction. Okay. Check it out, keep on looking, take a little break, look back, see what you got, but don't put very thick layers here. Very thin, very light, and once it's dry, again, you want to seal it. All right. So there, I'm going to start doing just freckling. I'm not doing no sponging, I'm just doing freckling with this kit. So here I'm starting with the red. All right, Agron Red Clear from Citadel. All right, and just remove the ones that you don't want, or like the real big ones. Just, you know, remove them. And again, clear. Okay, next I want to do the yellow. And same thing, we're going to do a little freckling. Okay, and you know, when I do the freckling here, I just lower the pressure. All right, on the compressor, or if you have a valve, you can just do the same thing. There's very light yellow speckles on it. Okay. Agrex Earthshade, same thing. Do a little freckling on that. This is more of the brown color. Okay, you do it all over the kit, and you see how I'm removing the larger size ones with a cotton swab. Okay. Just remove the ones that you don't want. And again, seal every time in between coats. Okay. So this color right here is from Scale Color, and it's called Arab Shadow. All right, so it's got a nice reddish tone to it. Okay, you want to hit it from the bottom. We're applying some shading here into the shaded areas. Okay. And I'm putting some on the lips, some, you know, right there in the fold of the cheeks and by the nose, underneath the lips, and the neck. All right, just applying light shadows, very lightly, guys. Here it's like about 60 to 40, maybe even 70 to 30 in mixture. Okay, just very little bit of paint. All right. All right, you don't want to go too dark. Just, you know, just enhance those shadows nicely. And once it's dry, again, clear between coats. Clear coat between coats, okay? Okay, this is Advanced Flesh Tone by Pro Acro. And this is an overall spray over that I'm doing. Just go over the whole kit just to bring back everything together. Nice little blending. It's a really nice color to do that with this type of flesh tone. Okay, and it brings everything out and it melds everything together really nicely. All right, and it gives it a really nice tone, as you guys can see. Okay. And I did again, the mixture, very light mixture, 30 paint, 70 thinner, okay? All right, so then I'm just continuing with the same color. And just spray over. You can still see some of the freckles come through. And again, seal between layers, guys. Okay, so there, right here, I have from golden color, and it's a shading gray. This paint is already very thin. You could thin it a little bit more, but I want to go too thin. And what I'm doing is I'm enhancing the shadows now, just very lightly. It dries very like it gives it a satin tone, but once you put the clear matte clear there, it'll bring it down a little bit. But it's a really nice color for doing shading. Okay, and I'm doing down the bottom, and I'm doing it underneath the nose, cheek, a little bit inside the mouth, and the underneath the mouth and all that stuff like that, and then around the edges on the outside by the red where it meets up, I'm putting shadows in there with that, as you can see right there. Okay, and again, once it dries, you're going to use the clear coat between every layer. Now here for the tongue, now you guys can use any pink, but I'm using the tongue color by Garagekit. And I'm going to do the tongue. All right. So I'm doing the inside tongue, but I am going to go a little darker after this because I didn't like the way that it came out, that it was a little bit too light. So I wanted to make it just a little bit darker than what it is right there. All right, but you'll see what I do next. All right, so you're going to clear coat that. All right. So now I'm going to use transparent tongue by same thing, by Garagekit US. And it'll start darkening up. I do a ton of layers on this thing, guys. So this is the first layer, but I actually do I go over that like 6 or 7 times over it, and it's a very thin, transparent color. Now you could use like a reddish color and thin it really good, and do the same process. All right, but I already had the color, so I used it. All right. So now I'm using bone color from Monument Hobbies, and that is going to be the base color for the teeth. Now, if you guys don't feel comfortable doing it with the airbrush like I'm doing there, because you will get a little bit of spray over, and I do go back and clean it with the cotton swab and a little bit of thinner, and it comes right off. All right, because I sealed the kit, you understand? So I was able to wipe it up. But you have to be quick about it. You can't just let it sit there. But if you don't feel comfortable doing it with an airbrush, you go ahead and do it with a brush, okay? So right there, I'm just putting the base color for the teeth, which is the bone color. Okay, see how I go in there now with cleaning it up with the swab, and then just cleaning up all the overspray. All right. And now I'm putting back some red into the tongue, that transparent red. And I keep on doing this. I did it like 6 or 7 times, maybe even more. I don't remember. But, okay. So this is titanium white by Golden. Okay. Thin it really good, guys. It's a thin color. It's already thin now, but thin it really good. You don't want to go too bright. I'm just putting a really light layer of that titanium white, because she has pretty white teeth. So I want to make sure that at least shows through, but also give it don't want to go too bright where it's going to look weird. You know what I mean? So, and then you clear coat everything. All right. Clean up any overspray before that too. All right. So this is Natural Lip, and it's by Createx, Tim Gore line. All right, and I'm using it to do the gums with that. All right, so a really nice pinkish color to do those tones. All right, and I'm just using it to do the gums and like a little bit of the recess in between the teeth. I put a little bit of color in there. All right, and I just go around and just apply it on the top also. All right, and I apply it all around the gums and stuff like that. And now I'm mixing a little red, and that's red oxide, all right, by Pro Acro, and I'm going to paint the lips with that. And a very gentle coat, guys. This is a very thin down paint, 60-40, 70-30. All right, there I'm cleaning the overspray. I'm doing the teeth. All right, but it's a beautiful color for a dark skin tone to do the lips with, and you'll see the results on that because I think it came out really nice. I really like that color for that effect. Okay, very thin. You still want some of that base color, that brown, to show through a little bit and mixed in with it, but the end results with that color is just came out phenomenal. I'm really happy I picked that color. All right, and just clean any overspray. You're gonna seal it afterwards. Now here I took the masking off, and I'm just cleaning around the masking. That liquid mask, I hate it because that's what happens. You got to do a lot of cleanup afterwards because the stuff just doesn't come out clean. And it could become a little messy. All right, but I'm using very gently. I'm using a toothpick to get all that stuff out. All right. So now I'm using black, just regular black. You can use any black. It doesn't have to be Vallejo. It could be from any other brand that you may have laying around. Okay. And this is the biggest pain in the neck, guys. This is what took me a really long time to do this, was doing those, the outside edges of the letters, all right? It took a long time because, there was a lot of cleanup involved afterwards because I didn't want to, I'm pretty good with getting the edges of the brush, but still I needed to do some cleanup because just the letters itself, the openings were really tight, so I got paint, so I'm just cleaning up with the swab and, on top of the letters, so it doesn't keep them dirty, and just make sure you clean it up. But yeah, it took a long time. What you see there is all fast, but this stuff took like a long time to do. I cut a lot of it because it's just boring watching me doing it anyway. So, but there you go, right there. That took a long time right there. All right, and once it's done, you're going to seal it again. And again, I'm going back to the same black color, okay? And we're going to paint the mic. All right, now the mic has some texture. I don't know, I don't think I put down, I did do some dry brushing with a black blue over the top side of the mic where the light would hit. I left the bottom side of it where I'm painting right now dark, but I did do some dry brushing on it. And I don't think I recorded it, to be honest with you. I don't remember. But there I'm just doing the black, just plain black, and just doing it nice around the edges and everything. Just make sure you have a swab or a toothpick and just clean up gently around the edges if you have to. Okay. And I'm using a broad brush to do all that, so I feel comfortable doing it when I have a good brush. They could do some They could do some nice edging and stuff. But yeah. So once you're done, make sure everything is dry well enough to do the clear coat. All right. So here we go again with black. And now I'm spraying. Now if you don't feel comfortable doing this, I'm doing it without masking it because I'm hitting it at an angle where it's not going to hit the front of the kit. But if you don't feel comfortable doing it this way, I'm painting the black all around the kit on the outside. Okay. Again, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, make sure you mask it. All right. But I'm actually using a larger brush. I think I'm using a 0.3 here from Gallery to paint that. Okay. All right, so this is I want to put some gloss in the lips, and what I'm using there, guys, is something that's not available anymore, or some company bought them out. It's Gloss Future Floor Wax. All right, and the way that I'm doing it, if you look here, is that I'm brushing it downwards. The reason why, because this stuff dries really quick, and the reason why I'm doing it like that is to give the lip some texture. You know, so that's why I'm pushing it like that, and I'm using it downwards. And it actually left, I don't know if you could tell there, but it actually left a little texture where it looks like the lip is actually, I'm doing the same thing a little bit with the top. All right, so we're getting to the end right here, guys, and just finish up the lips right here. And then once that is done, that's pretty much for the kit. All right. Just make sure you apply a nice coat of the gloss. There she is right there, guys. Lynne Thigpen as the DJ for the movie The Warriors. I'm really happy the way she came out. I think she looks fantastic. Alright. So I hope you guys learned something. I really enjoyed doing the dark skin tone. I just really enjoyed doing this whole kit. It was really fun. Like I said, the hardest thing for me to do was the outline of the letters with the black. But other than that, the whole thing was just pretty easy, not too hard. You know, like you guys saw, you know, and things like that. But I really had a lot of fun painting her. I think she was going to look great, complementing the other kits right next to it. She do a little standing up right there on her own. All right. And I wasn't going to paint the back, because I have a plan for this. I did not paint the bottom because I want to put some felt pads so it doesn't damage any furniture. All right, where I'm going to place it. Okay. But there it is right there. You can shadow box it. You can do anything you want with it. All right, it's totally up to you, is your imagination and things like that. I just showed you how the way I painted her. Okay, you can do other things. There's other effects that you can do to it and things like that. All right, just use your imagination. There she is right there. I really like the way she came out. She came out really good. I'll put pictures at the end, okay, as usual. You know, some beauty pictures and stuff like that. But I really had a lot of fun doing this. It wasn't a lot of time. It's just I didn't have enough one time to sit down and do this stuff. I had to do a little short burst because I've been really busy with other things, you know. But I'm sure you guys are too. But there she is right there. I'm really happy the way she came out. All right, very easy paint up, not too hard. I hope you guys learned something, how to do skin tones and things like that. If you guys need any other help or have any questions, you always can, reach out and leave a comment down below. All right, so there she is. She's still available, $50 plus shipping. My dog is barking. So $50 plus shipping. If you guys are interested, you can hit me up on my Facebook page, or go to my, you can send me an email at justpainted@myyahoo.com. If you guys are interested, and I'll send you one. All right, there you go, right there, guys. Lynne Thigpen, DJ from the movie The Warriors, all done up. Really happy the way she came out. Hope you guys liked it too and learned something. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. That's it. Thank you so much. Peace.